Nearly all of this solid monthly job growth came from the private sector and went to Americans rather than foreign-born workers.
The White House celebrating the September jobs report that shattered expectations today. 119,000 jobs created, more than double the prediction of 50,000, which economists were looking for. So this really doesn't happen very often, that you've got a double of the expectations number. So this is a big report for September. Of course, it was all caught up because of the shutdown. And we don't have an October number yet. So this is a September number. Let's bring in Kevin Hassett, director of the White House National Economic Council. Kevin, great to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's talk a little bit about what this tells us about the U.S. economy. And it's interesting because on Monday, it sounded like you were kind of lowering expectations in an appearance on CNBC. Watch this.
I think that there could be a little bit of almost a quiet time in the labor market because firms are finding that AI is making their workers so productive that they don't necessarily have to hire the new kids out of college and so on.
So is that what you think happened in October and more recently?
Yeah.
How do you square those two?
Yeah, we were talking about October at that point because there have been some near-term indicators in October that, basically maybe the government shutdown was a much bigger negative than we thought. But the September numbers were absolutely hit out of the park. As you said, a double is very rare. But if you dig down into the details, there's actually proof in the pudding that President Trump's policies are really working. And here's what it is, that there was a big surge in construction workers. And we went back and traced it back to, because remember President Trump said we're going to expand new factory construction. In September, we counted 11 major companies that broke ground on new factories and hired those construction workers. And the reason why that's so positive is that those factories are going to fill up with new workers and start making stuff and so on. And so President Trump's policy of onshoring production, creating great jobs for American workers was really, really visible in this report. And of course, it shocked experts because they've been naysayers about the president's policy all along.
So one area that we can look at is manufacturing jobs. And you just made an argument for why we may not have seen strength there so far since President Trump took office, but that when do you expect those jobs to actually kick in? If they're building those factories and facilities now, when does that really kick in, Kevin?
Right. Well, it's first the factory jobs are picking up. The thing is that factory output is skyrocketing because productivity is skyrocketing. And if you might have seen, if you looked at the earnings reports for the companies that have had that happen, they were through the roof. We had the most positive earnings surprises that we've ever seen in a quarter. And so what that's going to do is it's going to make people hurry up the pace of getting people into those factories and giving them jobs and lifting their wages. And the wage increases from all this are already really quite visible in the data. Under President Biden, people lost ground. Their real wage dropped by about $3,000 over his entire term. And it's up about $1,200 for those same people this year because of this boom that we're talking about. And the bottom line is that we have a track record, Martha, that you and I have talked about for years on this, that we promised between $4,000 and $8,000 as an increase in people's wages because of Trump's policies in the last term. And right before COVID, it was $6,500, and we're already up $1,200 this year because these policies work. They've been proven in the past, and they'll be proven even more so. I think we're going to be way above 6,000 by the end of this.
Are we ever going to see the October jobs report?
It depends. We'll see the payroll numbers, but we won't see the household number. And so we won't know what the unemployment rate is for that month unless they come up with a clever way to do it.
Okay, but are you saying that you think you'll see a similar pop to what we saw in, let's go to the November jobs report or December jobs report? I guess what I'm getting at, because we see in some of this polling that people are not feeling great about the economy. Nearly 1 to 3 expect to slip into debt this holiday season. We have a number that says 60% say that their financial situation is not so good to poor. 60% is a pretty big number. So what's your assessment? of how
Right.
those people are expressing that.
Well, first of all, the government shutdown had much bigger negative effects than I think anyone expected. And I can tell you, Martha, that I've been meeting with the CEOs of the airlines over the last week. And the fact that the shutdown happened and the FAA slowdowns happened right around the Thanksgiving holiday is incredibly, profoundly economically disruptive. And so the harm from the shutdown is real, and it'll probably take a little bit of while, like maybe into December, to start to see recovery of it. But the airlines haven't seen the bookings they normally see for Christmas because of like all the turmoil over Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving, by the way, that travel period is one of the most important for the economy of the year. And so it's a real negative that the Democrats handed us. But in the end, if you go up to next year, these factories are being built, the jobs are going to be there. We still are looking forward to economic growth next year in the 4% range because productivity and everything else is so good.
So what kind of growth are you expecting in the last quarter?
Excuse me?
In the final quarter of this year, what kind of growth are you looking for GDP? And what about the first quarter of next year?
Yeah, the government shutdown is estimated to knock about 1.5% off. So if you say that we were running at about a 4% pace, then that gets you to 2.5%, or could even be around a 2 for the fourth quarter. But I think that Trump policies are so strong that I don't expect much worse than that. But then I think we should go back to the 4% pace in the first quarter.
So in the
There's
betting
just so much momentum.
In the betting markets, you have the highest, 45%, to be the next Fed chair. We saw the president sort of trying to tempt Scott Bassett, the Treasury Secretary, back into considering the job. Is that a job that you want and that you would accept?
Look, I'm happy to serve the president in whatever way he thinks is best for the American people. I'm happy to serve the American people as long as I'm able to. I agree with the president. I think Scott Bassett would be a fantastic Fed chair. I'm humbled to be on the list of candidates and look forward to what the president decides.
All right. Sounds like that would be a yes. And do you think that we're going to get a rate cut in the next Fed meeting?
I think that the data suggests that we should. These jobs numbers are right in the sweet spot, and we had positive news on inflation. The government shutdown is going to be a real negative for the fourth quarter. So if I were there, yeah, for sure, I'd be cutting rates right now.
Well, we'll see what happens. Final quarter, as you say, a lot of these things are still kicking in, and you're very optimistic for the first quarter of next year to see a turnaround in manufacturing jobs and jobs along those lines. Thank you very much, Kevin Hassett.
Martha. Great
Good to
be
have you
back.
here. Thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.